I should have known my sister's wedding wouldn't be about love. The venue screamed money, crystal chandeliers dripping from a ceiling painted like a Renaissance sky, imported white roses lining a marble aisle, and a string quartet playing something soft and expensive near a champagne tower that probably cost more than my first car. But none of it belonged to my parents. Not really. The deposits had come from my account. Quietly. Repeatedly. Like always. Family helps family, Mom had said on the phone 3 months ago, her voice breaking just enough to sound real. Your sister deserves one perfect day. You know how sensitive she is. Sensitive. That was the word they always used for her. For me, it had always been strong, which really meant she can handle disappointment. So I paid. For the designer dress she posted all over social media with no mention of who bought it. For the catering company that required a tasting session flown in from another city. For the ridiculous ice sculpture shaped like 2 swans kissing, because my sister said real love should be Instagrammable. I even covered flights for relatives who still called me by the wrong name and once asked my sister what I actually did for work. I told myself it didn't matter. I had done well. I had a career, investments, my penthouse, my sanctuary above the noise. Maybe generosity would finally make me more than the extra daughter. I arrived late, straight from the airport, my carry-on still in the car. My navy suit was sharp, understated, the kind of outfit that whispered success instead of begging for attention. The penthouse keys rested in my clutch, cool metal edges pressing into my palm like a quiet reminder, you built something. No one gave it to you. Dad spotted me first. His face lit up, not with warmth, but with performance. There she is. Our successful girl, he boomed, loud enough for 3 tables to hear. Heads turned. Smiles. Measuring eyes. Mom swooped in, perfume heavy, fingers clamping around my arm as she kissed the air beside my cheek. You made it, she said, already steering me away from the guests, away from witnesses. We stopped near a column wrapped in flowers. Dad joined us, expression shifting from showman to strategist. We've been talking, Mom began, her voice dipped in sugar that never fooled me. Your sister and her husband need a place to start their life. I exhaled slowly. Here it was. I can help with rent for a while, I said. Or a down payment. Dad chuckled like I'd misunderstood a simple concept. Why rent when you have that huge penthouse sitting there? My smile faded. What about it? Give it to them, Mom said, as if suggesting I pass the salt. The music seemed to dull, like my ears had filled with water. Give them my home. Don't say it like that, she snapped. You're single. You don't need all that space. Your sister is starting a family. I worked 10 years for that place. And we worked our whole lives raising you, Dad shot back. This is what families do. I stared at them, really stared. You didn't help me buy it. Mom's eyes hardened. After everything we sacrificed. What sacrifices? I asked quietly, the old ache rising. You paid for her college twice. I took loans. You co-signed her car. I took the bus. Dad stepped closer, lowering his voice. We already told people you were gifting it. As a wedding surprise. My stomach dropped. You what? Don't embarrass us, Mom hissed. Go along with it. Sign the transfer this week. Across the hall, my sister stood in a cloud of white satin, bouquet in hand. She wasn't confused. She wasn't shocked. She was waiting. Waiting for me to smile. To nod. To disappear a little more so her life could shine brighter. And in that moment, surrounded by flowers I paid for and people who thought generosity meant ownership, I realized something crushing. They had never seen my success as mine. Only as theirs to claim. Grandma didn't raise her voice, but the air changed the second she spoke. Well, she said, each word clipped and sharp, this is disgusting. The conversation around us died in ripples. Forks paused halfway to mouths. The quartet faltered, violins squeaking into silence. My mother's hand slipped from my arm like she'd been burned. Mom said, forcing a laugh that fooled no one, you're misunderstanding. I heard enough, Grandma replied, adjusting her grip on her cane. She looked small, almost fragile in her pale blue sari, silver hair pinned neatly back, but her eyes were clear and blazing. You're trying to pressure her into giving away her home. At her sister's wedding. In public. Dad stepped forward, lowering his voice. It's a family discussion. Grandma tilted her head. Then why are half the guests pretending not to listen? No one moved. No one even pretended anymore. She turned to me. Did you promise them your apartment? No, I said. My voice came out steadier than I felt. Never. She held my gaze a moment longer, something like apology flickering there, maybe for all the years she hadn't known how deep this went. Then she nodded, decision made. I was saving this for after dinner, she said, reaching into her structured handbag. But clearly, we are past polite timing. Mom frowned. Saving what? Grandma pulled out a thick cream envelope, sealed with a gold sticker. The event manager, who had been hovering nervously near the bar, went pale the moment he saw it. Grandma turned, not just to us, but to the room. For those enjoying the celebration, she announced, voice steady and carrying, I hope the food was good. I chose the caterer myself. A murmur spread. Dad blinked. What are you talking about? This venue, Grandma continued, has been in my investment portfolio for 15 years. The silence that followed felt physical. I bought into it after your grandfather passed, she said calmly. It did well. Weddings, corporate galas, politicians pretending to be humble. A faint smile. I allowed this event here at no charge. A gift to the family. My sister's bouquet trembled in her hands. What does that have to do with anything? Grandma's gaze shifted to her. Gifts are given with love. Not used as leverage to steal from someone else. She looked at the event manager. Mr. Khalid. He straightened instantly. Yes, Mrs. Hassan. End the event. Gasps broke like glass. Mom stepped forward. You can't be serious. I am entirely serious, Grandma replied. Shut down the music. Stop the service. Begin clearing. The quartet packed up mid-note. Lights brightened harshly, turning romance into reality. Waiters exchanged looks, then began quietly removing trays. My sister's face crumpled. You're ruining my wedding. Grandma didn't flinch. Your marriage should not depend on your sister losing her home. Dad's confidence cracked. Ma, be reasonable. Reasonable, she echoed. You told people her penthouse was a wedding gift. Without asking her. That is not reason. That is entitlement. She tapped her cane once on the marble floor. And since we're discussing property, she added lightly, let's mention the house you two live in. My parents froze. It's under my name, Grandma said. Always has been. I never transferred it. I trusted you. Mom's lips parted, but no sound came. You will apologize, Grandma said, her voice no longer loud but absolute. To your daughter. Sincerely. Or you will have 30 days to find somewhere else to live. Around us, the illusion of perfection collapsed, guests whispering, phones subtly recording, floral centerpieces suddenly just expensive plants. Dad turned to me, face gray. We didn't mean to. Yes, you did, I said softly. And for the first time, saying it didn't hurt. It felt like setting something down I'd carried for years. I walked to Grandma. She slipped her hand into mine, warm and steady. Behind us, the grand wedding unraveled, but inside me something finally settled into place. They never understood your worth, she murmured. I squeezed her hand. You did. And walking out into the cool night air, chandeliers fading behind us, I realized revenge hadn't been loud or cruel. It had simply been the truth, spoken by someone who refused to let me be taken again. The parking lot outside the venue buzzed with confused guests and idling cars, but the night sky above felt wide and quiet, like the world had stepped back to let me breathe. I hadn't realized how tight my chest had been until the doors closed behind us. My sister's wedding music was gone, replaced by muffled voices and the distant clatter of staff clearing away a dream built on my silence. Grandma didn't let go of my hand as we walked slowly toward the curb. Her steps were careful, but her grip was strong, steady in a way my life suddenly felt. Are you all right? She asked. It was such a simple question. No accusation. No expectation. Just care. I nodded, then shook my head, then laughed weakly. I don't even know what I'm feeling. That's normal, she said. You just stopped bleeding somewhere you didn't know you were wounded. Her words landed deep. For years, I had explained things away. They don't mean it. They just worry about her more. I'm the strong one. I had turned neglect into logic, favoritism into responsibility. It had been easier than admitting the truth. I had been useful, not valued. Behind us, the venue doors burst open. Mom rushed out first, heels clicking wildly on the pavement. Dad followed, face tight with panic. My sister trailed behind them, veil clutched in her fists, mascara streaking down cheeks that had been flawless an hour ago. They stopped a few feet away, like there was an invisible line they couldn't cross. Mom spoke first. "Please," she said, voice shaking. "Don't do this. People are watching." Grandma raised an eyebrow. "You were not concerned about witnesses earlier." Dad looked at me, and for once there was no authority in his eyes. Just fear. "We made a mistake." I searched his face, trying to find the father who used to carry me on his shoulders, who once stayed up all night helping me build a school project. But memory and reality didn't match anymore. "A mistake," I repeated. "Is forgetting an anniversary. Not planning to take someone's home." My sister stepped forward. Her voice was small. "I didn't ask them to do that." I held her gaze. "But you didn't stop them." Her silence answered for her. Mom's voice cracked. "We just thought, you have so much. She has so little." I almost smiled. That had always been the math, hadn't it? My success didn't mean I deserved comfort. It meant I had extra to surrender. "Having more doesn't make me less human," I said quietly. Grandma squeezed my hand once, a silent good. Dad swallowed. "What do you want us to say?" The question hung there, raw, unpolished, finally honest. I thought about all the years of swallowing her to keep peace. All the times I paid, fixed, solved, showed up. Love, to me, had always been proven through sacrifice. But standing there, city lights flickering in the distance, I understood something new. Love without respect is just obligation dressed nicely. "I want you to understand," I said, "that I am not your backup plan. Not your emergency fund. Not property to distribute." Mom began to cry softly. "I helped because I cared," I continued. "But you don't get to decide what I owe." Silence stretched. Heavy. Real. Finally, Dad lowered his head. "We're sorry. It wasn't perfect. It wasn't poetic. But it was the first apology in my life that didn't come with a but." Grandma studied them for a long moment. "Then you will act like it," she said. "Starting now." My sister wiped her face. "Can we talk later?" "Maybe," I said. And for the first time, that word felt like a choice instead of a promise. A car pulled up for us. Grandma moved slowly, and I helped her inside. Before I closed the door, I looked back one last time. My parents stood together, smaller somehow. My sister beside them, wedding dress bright under the harsh parking lot lights, no longer glowing, just fabric and thread. They looked like people who had just discovered that love cannot be demanded. Only earned. I got into the car, and as we pulled away, the venue shrank in the rearview mirror. "So," Grandma said, a hint of mischief returning to her voice, "about that penthouse, do you at least have good curtains? People can see everything in those glass towers." I laughed, a real one this time, the kind that shakes something loose inside. "Yes," I said. "But I think tonight, I finally closed the right window."